Hey everybody, before starting this week's episode, we wanted to stop and talk a little bit about the sponsor of our episodes, and that is Expedition Roasters, the artisanal roasters of pop culture inspired coffees.
You know, in these stressful times where we can't go to the parks and experience all of our favorite things and get those wonderful smells, it's nice to have a bit of that with us here at home, and you can definitely have that with Expedition Roasters.
Yeah, and there's a myriad of flavors that you could choose from depending on kind of what you want to reminisce about in a certain way. I mean, you could easily choose Route 66 Tire Fix, which is their morning blend coffee, which, you know, obviously is reminiscent of Cars.
Yes.
So imagine walking into Cars Land, the asphalt fresh with the water that is evaporating after they cleaned off the entire area, fresh in the morning. You just walked in the gates, something like that. Or you could do Fortune and Glory, which is their Indiana Jones inspired coffee, which is bourbon streusel.
That's so good.
So,
but my favorite is Happily Never After.
Yes, your favorite is Happily Never After, and I have to say that one of my favorites is the Wonderland Coffee Crumb Cake.
That's
good.
And
And for all you coffee drinkers out there, it is such a well-balanced mix of flavor and the actual coffee flavor.
And the bags are super pretty.
Yeah, the artwork on the bags are pretty incredible, and you could actually buy the art on the website itself, too.
Yeah.
From the actual bags.
Which you should, because it's so cool.
Yes. So if you find yourself needing a little bit of a pick-me-up, but you want to reminisce a little bit about the parks, I would highly suggest checking out Expedition Roasters, heading over to expeditionroasters.com and purchasing some coffee from them. You could definitely use our coupon code for your first time purchasing coffee, which is a Duo15 at checkout. And remember, brew your happy place. Expedition Roasters, an adventure in every bag.
Welcome to the Theme Park Duo Podcast. Grab your 7 hot monster friends and hop in line as we take you on a creepy tour of some of the best haunts around. Now, here are your scary hosts, Nikki and Gabriel.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Theme Park Duo Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Gabe.
And I'm the other host, Nikki.
And we are
the Theme Park Duo.
We have a fun episode lined up for you guys today. We're going to be reviewing our experiences at the LA Haunted Hayride's drive-up experience, as well as the Urban Legends of Southern California drive-through haunted experience.
Yes.
So one of these Nikki did not go to.
I did not go through to the drive-through experience.
You went to the drive-up experience.
Which I guess we can explain the difference between drive-up and drive-through.
I mean,
as we go.
I feel like it's rather self-explanatory.
I guess so.
Just a little bit.
I guess so.
Slightly.
Oops.
Drive
well.
Up, drive
Let's
through.
keep going.
Anyway, and just FYI, if you tend to hear like a little jingling in the background, it's because we got a dog.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it's Santa Claus.
No, why would it be Santa Claus on a haunt episode?
I don't know.
I would slaughter him.
Oh, also we have
his
birds.
Footprints. That too.
Yeah,
we
they're
have a lot
making
of
noise
animals.
Too. Menagerie.
It's not a menagerie yet. Well, it actually is with Aaron.
Yeah, no,
With
add
our
the
daughter.
child, it's a menagerie.
Adding our daughter, it's a menagerie.
How many species does it take to make a menagerie? Because we have 3. Do we need a fish?
We might.
Okay. Listeners, buy us a fish.
You
don't know where we live, but buy us a fish.
Yes, that is awkward. Just leave it off at Knott's Berry Farm in front of the chicken dinner restaurant.
Care of Gabe.
Care of Gabe, and then I will come pick it up at some point in the near future.
Yes.
I have no idea. Just make sure it has enough food for like 5 days, because I'm not quite sure when I'm going to be able to get down there to get it. But anyway, moving on. As I said before, Nikki derailed that. We have a dog.
Yeah, we got a dog. We adopted a great little guy named Bowser, and he's awesome.
Right now he's asleep.
Yeah.
He's passed out.
Well, it's late.
He's still very much getting used to his surroundings.
Yeah. But he seems to love us already, which is the important part.
Yeah,
and we love him.
Yeah.
And he tolerates Aaron.
Sort of.
Tolerates.
Is tolerating looking at her and then just completely walking in the opposite direction?
Tolerating is not biting her face off.
That's true. That's a good point. Anyway, yeah, so if you hear jingling in the background, it's because it's his tags.
Yes.
But yeah, as I said before, we're going to be talking about the Urban Legends of Southern California experience as well as the LA Haunted Hayride experience. Nikki didn't do Urban Legends, but we both did the LA Haunted Hayride. So
Yep.
Let's start off on a bad foot. Not many people say that.
Well,
it's not the norm.
We're starting where we can only go up from here.
Yeah, exactly. I want to end on a high note.
Yeah.
I don't want to end on a bummer.
Yeah. So, which one are we starting with then, Gabe?
We're going to be starting with Urban Legends of Southern California.
Gotcha. I am happy I didn't go to it.
Yeah, based on my review, which you can head on over to themeparkduo.com and you could read my written review and pictures of the experience. Based on kind of what I'm saying right now, it's obvious that I didn't have the best of times. But we're going to break it down and we're going to talk about a lot of the information and details behind it so that we can kind of give you a sense of what it was and why it wasn't the best.
Yeah.
So, first off, I do want to say that this is a group that did do one of the live streams of Midsummer Scream, kind of showcasing what guests could expect. They obviously said, like, you could buy tickets now, and then, offered up this information about the haunt and what it was, and selling the event tickets based on what they talked about.
It says certain expectation.
It said a very specific certain expectation, yeah. And that is not what was delivered at all. Apparently there was some, like, turmoil behind the scenes, and creative directors were separated, and, it just kind of went off in a different direction completely, which... that happens. That's totally normal. My issue is that based on the timelines of when certain things happen, it seems like it didn't happen that far after the live stream.
Yeah.
So my issue is that I don't think you would go into that live stream without some inkling that something isn't quite right and you're not feeling good about it.
Yeah.
There had to have been something around there. And to me, it's misleading to still go into that live stream and still portray what your event is going to be like when you know for a fact and have an inkling that something's not going to be good. So I have a feel, like, in my opinion, like, if you're starting to feel like you're not jiving with somebody or something's happening behind the scenes, you probably shouldn't do the live stream.
Yeah.
And sell a product that wasn't the product.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
bottom line is, like, it got skewed, like, somewhere along the lines after the live stream, things changed, and it kind of, they just didn't end up with the same product that they promised all the people who rushed out and bought tickets, and kind of doesn't show them in the best light.
No, it really doesn't. And, some of their defense is like, oh, well, our branding changed, so clearly everything else changed. Not many people pay attention to that, and I don't think that the branding necessarily dictates exactly what the product is going to be.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's necessarily fair to pin that on guests and say, hey, it's your fault for not paying attention.
Yeah.
Who's to say that a rebrand means that the product is going to be completely different? Now, we did cover the live stream information on a previous podcast of ours, and if you did listen to the episode, you would recall us talking about, like, La Lechuza, the monster of Elizabeth Lake, as well as Blaze something. There was, like, some fire demon that was involved as well. That was like a what's it called, a drag queen of sorts.
Oh yeah. I remember talking about that.
Yeah. Blaze Drag On.
That sounds right.
So there was a lot of really cool information about it, and the experience really doesn't involve it at all.
Yeah.
Like, almost none of it is there anymore. With that being said, let's talk about the actual experience itself. It was actually at the OC Fairgrounds in Costa Mesa, California. So when you drive up to the experience, there's signs all around, so you know where you're going. It isn't unclear of where you're going. You're doing the traversing of all the cones and trying to get over to where you need to go. And so with this experience, and likewise, like LA Haunted Hayride, if you wanted to purchase merchandise or things at the event, you actually have to buy it when you buy your ticket. You buy it online, and then they hand it to you when you're there.
That's one thing I wish they had been more clear about. Like,
both events,
for both events, really, because we showed up to Haunted Hayride, which we'll talk about later. But you know, it was like I would have bought something there, but I didn't know that you had to like buy it in advance, and I was like, oh man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. We probably would have bought something.
Yeah.
But lucky for LA Haunted Hayride, you could purchase online and they could ship it to your house. So that's still
Yes,
good.
exactly.
Because it's like I forgot the name of the company that overruns it, but runs the actual event itself. But they're able and capable of doing that, so that's nice. But once you have your ticket scanned, I have the VIP experience. So the VIP is a special dedicated line that you go into. They give you some like
glow stick?
Glow sticks of sorts. They kind of look like mini noodles that you would use in your pool, but white. And they have Urban Legends Haunt written on them. They take a picture of you. And then you line up for the actual event itself. Now, when they told me to, go in the VIP line, I did not know where I was going because they're like, oh yeah, the VIP is right on the right hand side. And there's this gigantic metal archway that says VIP, and you would think, okay, you'll look right through there.
Yeah.
It was blocked off. So I was like, okay. And then to the right of it are 3 lanes.
Yeah.
Those were the VIP lanes. But it was kind of hard to tell where I was going, so it took me a second. So once I got there, you sit there and then you wait for them to kind of usher you into the experience. And to my knowledge, each experience has around 36 cars in it, and that could be upwards of like 5 people in each car. So who knows how many people are actually in each experience. But once they line you up, and apparently VIP is supposed to put you closer to the quote action to make it feel more immersive and scarier. So that's kind of what it is. It definitely doesn't deliver on that. We'll touch upon that in a second. So once you get into the line, they usher you into the first scene, which, is kind of a movie premiere of sorts. And there's a really large movie screen at the end of this area, and flanking the sides of the section are trucks with posters on them that say the different urban legends you're going to be experiencing. So I think it's like the mining caves of Black Star Canyon, Bloody Mary, and a few other things. Around this area are people that almost look like In-N-Out workers.
Yeah, I saw your Instagram story. They have like, were they wearing aprons? Yeah, and then like those hats, the paper hats.
Yeah, like the folded paper hats.
They did look like they were going to give you a burger.
Yeah, so they were all standing around. They were all bloodied up, wearing masks. And then there was another guy who was there who was supposedly the director of this documentary of urban legends that you're going to watch. And I guess the conceit of it all is that you're actually going to be going into the movie, or things are going to be coming off the screen of sorts. That doesn't translate at all. Nor does the director of like this documentary come across at all. The only reason why I know that is because the character literally came up to my car and told me that verbatim, and just like an information dump. Which
obviously, like, not every car is going to get that.
Yeah, not every car is going to get that. And the interaction was memorable. I think that actor was great.
Yeah.
But overall, that first experience definitely wasn't a very good introduction to it, because one, I watched multiple cars get scared more than once. People just walked by me.
Yeah.
They didn't even look in my direction.
Yeah.
I feel like when you're teaching these scare actors to go up to cars to scare people, you would have to make sure that they hit each car appropriately so that you feel like your money's being spent well.
Yeah. And it's like, it's easy to say, in years past, like, oh, it might just be an off night. Like, oh, I didn't catch the scares. Like, if you're going through, like, any old haunt, Scary
like
Farm
timing.
Yeah. But this is different because
it's
it is
totally up to the
all up to the actors. Yeah. So it is their responsibility to make sure that at least one of them, gets each car.
Yeah, and I didn't feel like that was the case.
Yeah.
At all. And that was kind of a trending experience throughout the entire event. So unfortunately, I didn't get scared once throughout the entire thing, but I did get that little piece of information from the director. Like you said, like, there's no way that every car got that information.
Yeah.
So it's just this random drive-in experience, and then you move to the next scene.
Yeah.
So you drive to the next scene, and the next scene is the mines of Black Star Canyon. and it's literally those big metal shipping containers, you know, that they move around like in Long Beach and stuff.
Yeah.
It's that with like black tarps going from the tops, and then some broken down cars, which I'm very confused about the cars. Why are there cars in mining caves? I mean, other than the practical use of like hitting it and making a loud noise, I get that, but thematically it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And on top of that, furthermore, like there really was no theming to be had outside of the scare actors' costumes, which were mining outfits.
Yeah, because even the shipping containers don't fit.
They don't fit.
Yeah. Were there any rocks?
No, nothing.
There were no rocks.
No, nothing. I mean,
not even fake rocks.
No. I mean, I do have to say that the sound design was really well done. You know,
Yeah.
it was like the dripping, echoing kind of noise.
Yeah.
You know, that was really, really well done. But overall, I felt like that experience really didn't lend itself to putting you in that environment. And then this was also a situation of watching scare actors go around car to car. And literally, I counted on my phone. I got so bored to the point where I started making notes on my phone. Nothing was happening to me. So I was like, okay, might as well make notes for my article.
Yeah.
So I watched the car in front of me get scared 8 times.
No
joke.
I think you texted me that too while you were there.
As I was going through it. 8 times. Didn't get hit once. Not once.
And not just like, I want to clarify, not just like a failed scare. Like, not even
doesn't
an
even
attempt.
approach my car.
Yeah.
No attempt was made.
Yeah.
No free throw shot. No 3-pointer, nothing.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't even enter the Coliseum to play the game. Nothing happened. I could have easily had the same experience at a stoplight by the event, as opposed to actually having paid money for this.
Actually, you probably could have get scared more at a stoplight if like one of those homeless guys come up and try to watch your window.
Exactly. And then on top of that, like the VIP experience was like, oh, you're more immersive and you're closer to the scares and you'll get more scared more.
Well, obviously
that
not.
obviously didn't happen. But also on top of it, that scene itself didn't have any particular show moment that I could see, or that would kind of further develop the moment, but also even come close to being considered immersive to the point where my VIP ticket felt like it was worth it.
Yeah.
There was nothing there. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
And so once that was over, you go to the next one and you're like in this outdoor foresty area, which there was more set design for this one, which apparently was like some monster that's in the forest. I think originally it was some guy in a monkey suit.
Yeah.
But now it's some guy in a ghillie suit.
Yeah.
But you know, I couldn't tell what was going on. Because again, my car, although I was VIP, I wasn't anywhere near any of the moments that mattered. So I had no idea what was happening. So the entire time, all I heard was people going, hello? Johnny? Beth, where did Johnny go? And like just like yelling about people I don't know and don't care about.
How did they manage, like in my head, like after the first like drive through scene, how did they kind of manage VIP to make sure that it stayed VIP?
You're literally in one lane the entire time.
Okay.
And there's a lot of people who are working it to make sure that cars aren't going too fast, going too slow, and doing things they shouldn't be doing. So there's no way in heck you could move over a lane and get into VIP, quote unquote.
Got it.
So that's just simply unattainable. But with this scene, like, it's solely up to people, the actors yelling their lines. So I'm like struggling to hear them like yell out. I see them with lanterns running around, and I barely get a glimpse of somebody getting killed in a big yellow tent.
Yeah.
But then in the bushes, there's like deer with red eyes and stuff, and like these weird like demon animals of sorts, I guess. But because I was in such a terrible spot, I literally watched nothing happen. Other than people walking around with lanterns. And those people weren't scaring guests. They weren't, coming up to their windows and, scaring them. They were doing this whole story beat of like, I don't know where my friends are at. I need to find them. Oh, something must be wrong. This whole thing. And it just did not work. It was really disappointing because the set design did work well for what they were trying to do. It's the acting and the scares were non-existent. So after that was a clown section,
Okay.
which I think this one had the most opportunity to actually do something really, really cool. So I was confused because I have no idea where the idea of an abandoned carnival comes into play when it comes to Southern California urban legends. And I still don't without having to Google it. So I've never Googled it because I just don't care. So I just took it at face value, which was a clown section.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with entirely. Like, I don't care. So that had, some carnival things around, ticket booths, a merry-go-round and stuff. And the whole story behind this one is that there's one victim these clowns were trying to kill, and eventually they kill them. And, the clowns are going around to each and every car looking at them. The guy with the chainsaw came up to my window, but he was systematically going window to window of every single car, hitting it and holding up the chainsaw so you could feel the air from the chainsaw. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
When they hold it up like this and the air just kind of comes at you so you can feel it.
That would just be annoying.
Yeah, so it was that, and there was another girl who was running around with like a bat. She talked to me briefly and like looked at me in the window, but there was no scares to be had at all.
Yeah.
That moment just did not work for me. It really was disappointing because I was like, okay, cool clowns, and I saw the dude with the chainsaws, and I thought that was awesome. Nothing. Nothing. And I feel horrible saying that it's this bad, but it truly is.
Yeah.
And I feel really bad for those scare actors because I feel like they're just being set up for disaster.
Yeah.
Like there's no way in heck that you could efficiently scare everybody while still maintaining the quality of scare.
Yeah.
There's just no way. When you have 35 to 40 cars in one spot, you have to hit and move, hit and move, hit and move, hit and move, hit and move.
Yeah.
And even the best scare actors that I know, I don't even know if they could do that and actually get good scares.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's almost an impossible task.
Yeah.
So, really, really disappointing. And at that point, there was a car next to me that I had been talking to because I was so bored. So, because everybody had their windows down and their masks on,
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, guys, do you find this scary? And he goes, no, it's pretty lame. I was like, okay, cool. I thought it was just me because I go to like all these things and I'm pretty jaded with experiences. So I don't know if things are good or bad or not. He goes, no, it's not just you. It's not scary. So, and even he, like when he saw the clown with the chainsaw, he goes, oh, okay, this should be good. Like at Fright Fest or Universal or something. And even he was like, oh man, that was a letdown. So then thank God, the last scene was the Bloody Mary sequence. But you would not know that it was Bloody Mary until like 4 minutes in, because when you drive up, there's this big stage. And, the clown one and this one, yes, the VIP lane is right next to the stage. So you can see it very, very well. There's this dance sequence that happens where all these dancers are wearing masks and the music's not loud enough so you can hear all their footsteps. And it just feels very awkward.
Yeah.
And then at some point, then they start chanting Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. And you're like, okay, thank God. I wanted to know what it was about. At the very end of the stage, there's this gigantic open-ended flatbed truck, essentially. Like an 18-wheeler, like back end that's just open.
Yeah.
And all these red lights turn on, a whole bunch of smoke, and Bloody Mary comes out. So you're expecting Bloody Mary to run to the cars or something. No. She just stands on stage.
Did anything go around car to car scaring in that one?
Nope.
Just a show.
I think the dancers came off the stage at some point, but they weren't scaring.
Yeah.
And they weren't scary.
Yeah.
So it didn't work.
Yeah.
And if of anything, I feel like Bloody Mary is probably the one that is most recognizable and probably the easiest one to be scary. Yeah. And it just was not.
But also that's such an odd choice
for Bloody Mary.
Having dancers. It's like if there's a stage, just like have a scene where there's like kids at a slumber party and it's like a bathroom scene, and there's a mirror and then they say it and Mary appears in the mirror and then a bunch of Marys run to the cars.
Yeah, like that would be super cool. Like even if, like you said, you have like a group in the center, you see the group, they're doing their thing, then Bloody Mary appears, the lights go out, you hear like the slaughter of them like through sound design.
Yeah.
And then the lights turn on, you see a whole bunch of Bloody Marys standing like in a line on either side. and then the lights turn off, and then they turn back on, and then they're gone.
Yeah.
And then they're behind each car, you know. Or
That'd
not,
be amazing.
Not a ton of them enough to
Yeah.
be for each car, but like inevitably somebody's going to get disappointed, which I think is kind of going to happen with an experience like this.
But at least you have a higher chance of a few scares with my idea.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
also, it's just visually a cooler way of presenting the
Yeah.
urban legend, as opposed to just having a dance number, which is supposed to be, and I know this is what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like this climactic ending to the experience.
It's not.
It doesn't pay off that way.
Yeah.
It doesn't make her scary, which arguably she's probably the scariest out of all of them.
Yeah.
If anything, it leaves people with a sour taste in their mouth from the entire experience.
Yeah.
And I just feel like all of this was just such a miss. I feel like everything about it from the drive up to the experience was such a miss.
Yeah.
And it's kind of shocking. You know, the VIP experience that I had was $100.
Yeah.
And I left being like, I could have just stayed home and spent time with my daughter, and I rather would have.
It's kind of like it punches you twice too, because it's not just that it was bad, it's that it was bad and they promised so much more.
Yeah.
That's
exactly.
what hurts more. That's what makes it sting more, I think.
No, you're 100% right, because you go in with these expectations about what you're going to see.
Yeah.
And none of it is driven home on
Yeah.
at all. And that's really, really disappointing. And, you know, and the thing is that, like I said, these scare actors are totally set up for disaster. You know, there's no way that they're going to be able to accomplish what they want them to accomplish.
Yeah.
Not every single car is going to get hit. But there needs to be some type of consistency to make sure that everybody at least gets scared once.
Yeah.
Or twice.
And I know what people listening who have never been to this type of event before are probably thinking, like give them a break. It's a weird year. They're trying their best. You know, maybe this type of scare just doesn't work. But we know it does.
We know it does with
Haunted Hayride. Which we had just gone to before.
Yeah, so
Uh-huh.
we have a platform that showed that this type of scare does work. So going to this, you know, I'm expecting something similar in the lines, but it just didn't. And I feel like a lot of the scare actors weren't taught how to scare too. Because
Yeah.
whenever they did approach, it would just be yelling.
Yeah.
Which, you know, is the typical go-to scare of just like being loud.
Yeah.
Which isn't scary. Sometimes less is more when it comes to that kind of stuff. But, you know, even outside of the scares themselves, the production value of the event itself was so low.
It just wasn't worth the ticket price.
It wasn't worth the ticket price.
Yeah.
Everything felt very unpolished. You know, driving from scene to scene, you see like audio technicians in their booth working. you see the sides of, you know, the 18-wheelers, you know, and stages and stuff, like things you should have like curtains over.
Yeah.
At least to make
Oh,
it look
you never told me that stuff.
It just was. I just never felt like there was ever a moment where I'm like, that's the man behind the curtain.
Yeah.
I mean, there was never a moment where I couldn't find the man behind the curtain working it.
Yeah.
You know, I would always find said person, and I don't ever want to be in that because that immediately takes me out of it. You know, there are situations in mazes where you're walking through and you see the person in like a black hooded outfit.
Yeah.
But that's a very different situation than sitting down and experiencing something when you're not actively walking through it. You're in the confines of your car and you feel safe.
Yeah.
And you're able to look at those things as opposed to when you're going through a maze, which is very much a non-passive experience, and you come across somebody in like clothes and you're like, oh, you know, they kind of startle you a little bit because you're not expecting to see somebody like that standing in the middle of the darkness.
Yeah.
But when it comes to drive-through experiences like this, you don't want to see the inner workings of the experience. It just makes it feel less of a value.
Yeah. Because you're already like out of it a little bit because you're in your car, your normal car, you know, so you need everything else to be like seamless.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the thing is that the event isn't seamless.
Yeah.
And that's to me is probably the biggest problem.
Yeah.
Is that there are ways to make sure that your experience is seamless, and I don't feel like they tried very hard to work through it at all. I do like the fact that they tried their hardest to make sure that there was some overarching story that attached everything together. Like, why are we seeing all of these urban legends?
Yeah.
And why does it matter? But that never ever actually like, came back.
Yeah, it's like they tried, but it doesn't matter that much if they didn't follow through with it.
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, like, they followed through in the sense of, like, having an opening scene and kind of explaining why that it's happening. But the fact that idea never played any factor in the rest of the story is weird to me.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted something like that. But I digress. Enough, you know, beating a dead horse. I do want to talk about the prices so that people are aware of what we're talking about. So originally when they first came out, tickets for Wednesdays were $50, Thursdays and Sundays were $60, Fridays were $70, and Saturdays were $80. And these are all just general prices.
Uh-huh.
These aren't like VIP or anything. And then later on down the line, I think when we got closer to October, prices did go up. For Wednesdays, they're $70. For Thursdays and Sundays, $70. Fridays, $90. Saturdays, $100.
Is that per car?
And that's per car. Yeah, per vehicle.
Uh-huh.
So, to me, there's it's like, if you have like 5 people in your car or 4 people in your car to split up that cost, yeah, maybe it's worth it for the shits and giggles of it.
Uh-huh.
But if it's like you and another person for $100,
Find a better date night.
don't go. I don't believe that it's worth it. I don't personally think that I wouldn't pay for it again. I just wouldn't. I don't think that the VIP was worth it. I don't think the product was worth it. I don't feel very good about the unsavory nature of the way that they themed / changed everything without fully letting people know.
I thought you were going to say the unsavory nature of the OC Fairgrounds.
Well, the unsavory nature of Costa Mesa, yes.
Costa Mesa. Sorry, Costa Mesa.
Yeah, in general, I feel like there's a lot of negative things that kind of go around this event that, to me, I wouldn't give them my money again.
Yeah.
And it's really unfortunate because it had a lot of hopes. And the thing is that I actually think it was cool to kind of do Southern California urban legends, because I feel like that's kind of baked into SoCal. You know, you don't have to tell people what it is. People already know.
Uh-huh.
You know, and even if it's something new, and especially if you're a haunt goer, you're like, oh, I've never heard of that before. I'm going to look up to see what that was, which is immediately what I did after watching the live stream.
Yeah.
So not being able to see those things, but on top of it, being given like Bloody Mary, which isn't SoCal.
It's just a general urban legend.
It's quite disappointing.
Yeah.
So let's not beat a dead horse anymore. Let's move on to something a little bit brighter and talk about LA Haunted Hayride.
Woo!
Which
I went to this one.
Yes, in which both of us were very excited about this one.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I was so excited. Well, it just, we've gone to a few haunted hayrides, and I think last year just kind of hit such a high note that I was excited for it to come back in any way, shape, or form.
Just delve deeper into Midnight Falls and the story and the lore, talk to more characters.
Yeah.
Because that was what our experience was last year.
And I was confident that even though it was a different event than we were used to, that it would still be fun.
It would still hit the beats of the characteristics of what we expected from it last year and what we got from it last year.
Yeah.
And I do think that to a certain extent, it still maintained its characteristic and its personality while having to go in a completely different direction, which is outside the bounds of what, Ted and John are used to doing.
Uh-huh.
Because a lot of what they did last year really developed through interaction with monsters and conversations that you would have and going through those mazes, building out the story and the lore of the town through all those different assets. Now you can't do that. Now it's just one thing.
Yeah.
But they still build out the story by making the location that you're going to another part of the town.
Exactly.
Which I think is ingenious. It's like, okay, well, we're discovering another part of the town that we've never been to.
Uh-huh.
It's the old rundown drive-in movie theater that you have to drive all the way to the outskirts of town to get to.
Yeah.
And it's been taken over by Monty Revolta, and he's showing his shorts and doing concerts, which I think is a great ploy to get people there, quote, in the story.
It's genius. They're probably really lucky, with what they set up last year for them. It was kind of just so easy to just be like, oh wait, Midnight Falls has a drive-in movie theater, you
feel like it's a given. I feel like that's a given.
Yeah.
I feel like that's an easy thing, like, oh, of course.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe it wasn't so
No,
much
I'm sure.
like in the developmental process of actually getting to that point.
No, I'm sure. What I mean is, it's like it's genius that they thought to just continue with Midnight Falls, and they used all their props from last year, all their sets. And like the whole like drive down through the drive-in. To the drive-in, it's, you know, they could have just had you drive down the dirt road, but no, they set up all of Midnight Falls, like the trick-or-treat stations, the ice cream truck. They had all the things you remember from last year there. Like, it wasn't scary, but it was
spooky.
It was
got
spooky.
You in the mood.
It got you in the mood. It was super cool. It was a nice drive down. Monty Revolta was in like this truck, the radio station truck
thing,
like
saying goodbye to people.
No, but also hello as you pulled in. Oh no, he was saying goodbye because it was also the exit.
He was saying goodbye.
Yeah, you're right. And it was a great like entrance to get you in the mood for the event.
Yeah, and kind of piggybacking what you were saying is that it makes so much sense in terms of story that to us it's like it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
It just makes that much sense to have it in that situation. And also, like you said, having those different sets that we're so used to seeing from last year and having, you know, literally gone up and touched the doorbells and stuff on those buildings, seeing those again and being able to reminisce on those memories, you know, getting hit by a big plume of fog while you're driving through this road, it really did lend itself to having this almost traditional, spooky, weird Halloween vibe, which isn't necessarily, to me, what Hayride was last year. Like, it had those aspects to it, but this year I felt like it was a little bit different because of the confines of what they had to work with.
Last year, it was more like, it wasn't like nostalgic traditional Halloween vibe. It was like kooky, like cursed town vibe, but it lent itself to this year to give you that like nostalgic, creepy old town Halloween vibe.
Exactly. So once you get down that big road, you actually get to like the drive-in section, and then they park you in a portion that is socially distant from actual other cars. We were in the VIP section, so there's the
Premier,
like, Premier Platinum.
Platinum.
Was Platinum?
I
Platinum,
think.
VIP, Preferred, and then General.
Yeah.
And so the General is pretty far back.
But there's screens.
Smaller screens on the sides.
Yeah.
And then VIP is right behind the Platinum, which Platinum, I think, honestly, is probably the best bang for your buck.
Yes.
Because you actually get to get out of your car and sit in a hayride
wagon, for lack of a better term,
with like lawn chairs and stuff. So you're closer to the monsters. You're out in the cold, crisp autumn air.
Yeah.
You're more in the Halloween vibe, definitely there. And I think those were $200, but if you have a group of like six 7 people, like, that's a great price.
Just don't be like the jerks in front of us that like weren't wearing masks at all, and we're
vaping. Yeah.
Vaping.
Exactly.
Can I say it louder? I won't.
No, please don't.
No.
For the ears of our listeners.
Vaping. Vaping.
Yeah, so I feel like that price point, like if you have a lot of people, that makes a lot of sense. We were right behind them, and I never felt like my experience was less than theirs.
No,
of course, they were targeted a bit more because they were up front.
Yeah.
And they saw a bit more of what was going on, but never did I feel like my experience was cheapened by that.
But honestly, can I say I kind of liked that I still got to be in the comfort of my car, and I found that I was watching them get scared, and among all the other things to distract me, it distracted me so I could get scared more. So I kind of liked being VIP instead of Platinum, but
but that's personally you.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's personally me.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it would have been super fun to just be out of your car in the hay wagon with like things that the monsters could like hit and stuff. You know,
there was someone chainsaws
because they can't hit your car, you know, but they
Yeah.
can hit the wagons all they want, make loud bangs.
And there was a character walking around with cotton candy. But
Yeah.
then she would turn on the flashlight, turn the cotton candy around. There was a face in it.
Yeah, there was
You
like
know.
a woman dragging around like a dead body or something.
There was
Yeah.
a lot of characters up there.
Yeah.
I don't know how populated the back sections were.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
We can't speak to that.
I can't speak to that. I do know that certain people have been back there. Like, my experience was fine. Like, it was good.
Yeah.
It wasn't great, but it was good.
Yeah.
So,
But that could also just be because of the nature of the event and
Yeah.
being in your car and kind of not being 100%, you know, used to that kind of environment for scares. You know?
and for any event that's like this, regardless of whether it's Hayride or Urban Legends, go into this with an open mind and go in understanding this isn't going to be a traditional experience in any form
Yeah.
or shape of that wording.
Yeah.
Like, it's really not going to be. So you need to be able to understand that and comprehend that so that when you do experience it, you leave yourself a little bit open to get
Yeah.
scared.
Yeah. So let's just kind of basically talk about what was being shown. Like, we're at a drive-in, so it was basically like little snippets, shorts of Monty Revolta talking or singing or doing whatever.
There was like concert bits where he
Yeah.
would do a song.
And there were dancers.
And dancers, like,
sometimes
on
the
sides of the
dancers
stage.
sometimes the dancers were dancing with like corpses, you know.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was funny. It was comedy horror.
Yeah, to a certain
Yeah.
extent, yeah. It
And
definitely was.
then in between that it was broken up to kind of stretch it out and make it longer with horror shorts, like just, you know, totally unrelated to Monty Revolta, just like you're at the drive-in watching these horror shorts.
Yeah, they were Crypt TV shorts, which
Yeah.
you can find Crypt TV on YouTube. So all the shorts that we watched, you can watch for free on YouTube.
Yeah.
Which I guess is kind of an issue. I don't know.
I mean, it's like, it is what it is, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
What, yeah.
and
What are they gonna
it's-
do?
it's
Produce their own, you know?
I mean,
short...
that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, it's filler. It's like, because the event was how long? 30, 40 minutes? 40 minutes?
45 minutes.
It's a lot of time to fill. You know?
It is.
So I don't mind. It's like, I was half watching the shorts anyway because you're so interested in everything else. You know, they
I
don't
think
want something on the screen that's like gonna 100% need your attention.
I feel like, but even regardless of whether or not it needs your 100% attention, that's a distraction scare waiting to happen, which is exactly what happened.
Exactly.
Regardless.
And I think this is where we need to talk about the difference between the two haunts.
I do want to say though is that as opposed to Crypt TV, which I really can't speak to because I'm a former employee of them,
Yeah.
so I have my own personal opinions that I can't really express, but I feel like they could have easily gone out of their way to find more unique shorts from not Crypt TV.
Yeah.
From, you
Yeah.
know, independent filmmakers and things, because there's plenty. There's also other YouTube channels that aren't as big as Crypt TV, like Alter or anything, really.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of really good shorts that are out there that you could have put on there that are definitely scarier than the ones that they put up
Can
there.
I say,
And that's not even from me being a former employee. Like, the choices that they
Yeah.
made, the shorts that they chose just genuinely weren't scary.
can I say my honest opinion?
You go for it.
Okay, because I'm not a former employee. I've watched lots of Crypt TV stuff, you know, because you used to work there. And I know just from what I've watched that wasn't their best stuff.
Not in the slightest.
Yeah.
I've been in those project files,
Yeah.
so I don't find them scary.
Yeah, no, but like literally, no, but even like regardless of that, you know, I've, you know, been on YouTube, I've watched all the Crypt TV stuff, and I think we were driving home and I was like, they could have played A, B, C, or D, you know, shorts instead of what they played. Like, why did they use what I feel to be like their B-list material?
Yeah.
But you know, that's personal opinion, and bottom line, it doesn't really matter because that's not what you're there for, you know. And,
No, yeah.
but it would have been fun to see some of the really creepy monsters up there and like maybe get your attention towards the screen a little bit more so you get scared by the actors, because a few of the things they were showing were kind of boring. But doesn't matter because I want to talk about the difference between the scares between the two haunts, because like I mentioned before, it's like there is a way to do it right, and Haunted Hayride did it right. They trained their actors right, because we got scared a lot. Honestly, I said to you,
I screamed the F word more times than I would like to admit.
Yeah, honestly, I said to you that I got scared at Hayride more.
Shut up, birds.
I know
Shut your face.
They're hyped. Should we cover them with a
super hyped.
blanket? I don't know.
Let's cover him with a blanket. Yeah.
I got scared more times at Hayride than I think I have in the last few years at other events.
Really?
And I don't know why. Like, you know, like I'm not saying like cumulatively at other events, but like a trip to, you know, Halloween Horror Nights or a trip to Knott's Fright Fest. There are nights where it just doesn't hit and I don't get scared at all.
Yeah.
I got scared quite a few times at the Drive Up Hayride event.
Which is funny because the type of scare is the exact same type of scare over and over and over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah, no, but kind of not.
They're all distraction
scares. They're all distraction scares, but I think the actors are paying attention. Like, if they see a fellow, scare actor at the driver's side window of a car and they know that all the passengers are looking over there, they're just gonna come up to the passenger side window, just hang out there and wait, for the other guy to leave. And then, the passenger looks over and is like, oh my God,
And that's what happened to me.
That's exactly what happened to me too.
Exact same
They were smart. They knew what they were doing and they paid attention. They weren't just mindlessly going car to car going, rah, rah. It's like they were thinking about it and they were having fun. And it showed. You could tell.
I definitely agree with that. And, I do think the shorts and the music videos and stuff like that and the lighting package really do lend themselves to being eye-catching so that you are forgetting about the monsters kind of roaming around the cars, which really does help, sell those scares.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think a big part of the effectiveness of the event lies in the fact that you were able to actually stream in the sound design and the music
to your radio
and everything pretty much from the show to your radio by switching to an AM radio station,
just like a normal drive-in,
which I think Urban Legends could easily benefit from, because I feel like that in general, sorry to jump backwards, but I do think that could in general help them solidify the storyline, help their actors develop audio scares and a whole bunch of other things throughout the entirety of the experience, even in between explaining what the Urban Legends are while you're driving to the next one. They could have easily done that, but no, they don't have any in-car anything. They just rely on their actors yelling out loud, which really sucks. But with LA Haunted Hayride, directly in car, which was really phenomenal. And the first time an audio jump scare popped up, I definitely jumped. After that, I didn't, because it was predictable. The first time definitely got me. So, I mean, overall, I feel like the price and the experience and what you're getting is definitely worth it for LA Haunted Hayride. I think the further back you get, I feel like the less and less that value becomes.
Definitely.
And I feel like that's with any kind of experience like this.
I mean, that's pretty much with any experience ever. Go to the Hollywood Bowl, there's the tables up front, there's the concrete bleachers in the back.
I don't know, I feel great at the concrete bleachers.
As do I with my binoculars, but I'm just saying, you pay what you get for.
Definitely.
If you want to see the sweat beads on the trombonist's brow, I
don't want to see the sweat beads on his
sit
brow.
in the front row and pay for it.
You know what I'm saying?
Stop being gross. That's all
Let's just say he's not playing the trombone with his mouth.
Oh my God, stop.
I have no idea what else he's playing it with.
Stop.
I have no clue. I just say things. I have no idea where that was going.
Stop.
I'll let you all make up the punchline.
Stop. Anyway, all I'm saying is, you get what you pay for.
You definitely do get what you pay for.
And for this event, I would recommend dishing out a little extra money for the front 2 sections. And the pricing does work a little bit differently here. It's not per car. It's Gabe, you can explain it. It's a little different.
I think that the pricing behind LA Haunted Hayride was like, a certain ticket gives you up to a certain amount of people, and then you had to purchase like a
per
back
head
seat ticket per head, which was only like $10 or $15 extra. Which it should just be per car. It really should.
It should be.
It shouldn't be based on people.
It should be like the platinum should be like $200 per car. VIP $100 or $150 per car. Like, that's how they should do it.
Yeah, unfortunately, they don't do it like that, which kind of sucks. I mean, like, other than that, I really can't think of a whole bunch of negatives with the event itself. I mean, I can understand how some of the logistics behind the event can kind of cause issues for people.
Yeah.
When you're actually getting to the event itself, like the actual venue, You get off the freeway, and it's right there.
Yeah, it's in Raging Waters, basically.
Yeah, you go in the entrance to Raging Waters.
Yeah.
So, since it's right off the freeway, I can imagine that, traffic getting backed up pretty dang easily over there in that
Probably.
area.
We were an hour early, so we were fine.
Yeah, we went and got food.
Yeah. We went to Home Depot.
No, we went to go to Home Depot. It was a Lowe's. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's true. We don't go to Home Depots.
I go to Home Depots.
Oh.
It was just a Lowe's.
Oh.
There was no reason behind it, just the fact that it was a Lowe's.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were being political.
No.
Oh, okay.
Just that it wasn't a Home Depot. If it was a Home Depot, I would equally have gone in there because their toilets don't discriminate.
Yeah, we did just go there for the bathrooms
That
anyway.
is true.
Regardless, we were not there for hardware supplies. That's it.
I was trying to think of a joke, but I couldn't.
I don't know.
My hardware created supplies. I don't know. That's bad. Moving on. That's so bad. But yeah, no, we had a really, really good time at Haunted Hayride, and there was a lot more positives than there were negatives in that experience, as opposed to, Urban Legends of Socal, which was the complete opposite.
Yeah.
It was really hard to find the silver lining in the experience. But I do implore all of you to head on over to themeparkduo.com and check out the write-ups for both, because they both include kind of what we talked about, but they also include photos, so you can kind of see what we're talking about as well.
Yep.
So you got to give you a sense of the experience. Also, I know that we already did an episode on it, but I did just release an article all about Taste of Halloween on themeparkduo.com. So, and there's upwards of 300 photos on that thing.
Yeah, you can see all of the food we tried, which is good, because, I know, like, when I'm going, dinner shopping online and I'm looking at restaurants I've never been to, I want pictures. So
Give me pictures.
We have pictures of what the food looks like.
And it kind of gives you a sense of kind of how big the portion sizes were.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the portion sizes are really small, sometimes they're massive. So,
yeah,
get a sense of that. So head on over to themeparkduo.com and check that out.
And get the Hocus Pocus float.
Yes, the Hocus Pocus.
Gabe, I've been dreaming about it since.
I could make it for you.
Please go get Orange Fanta right now.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay.
Easily.
Okay.
Okay.
Show's over. Bye.
Show's over. Bye.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have my Orange Fanta.
We didn't have dessert today.
I don't know why that was your voice. I'm gonna have Orange Fanta.
That was not my voice. That was your voice.
That's what Nikki sounds like when she wants dessert.
A man?
Gabe, thanks for cooking dinner. Now where's dessert?
I'm actually Shaquille O'Neal from QB Halloween.
Can I have mint ice cream, please? That's my favorite. That's not Shaq. That's just Nikki. Just saying.
Everyone
By
go
the way,
watch.
nobody knows, but Nikki loves mint chip ice cream, specifically mint chip ice cream from Thrifty's Ice Cream.
Thrifty's Ice Cream
which
is the best.
We do have some listeners who are overseas, in like different countries. And
Baskin
stuff.
Robbins is a close second. If you know Baskin Robbins,
There's
mint chip.
Baskin Robbins, was like a main chain.
Yeah.
Thrifty's is like an ice cream brand that originated in I almost said thrift store, not a thrift store, but like a I almost said medication store, but what's the word I'm looking for?
Pharmacy.
Pharmacy, yeah, like a pharmacy brand, almost like a soda jerk type thing.
A CVS or a
Like
Walgreens.
yeah,
Imagine going into a Walgreens.
Yeah, CVS and Walgreens, but I'm trying to think of like the old timey concept of having an ice cream parlor inside a pharmacy and those kinds of things.
Is that an old timey concept?
Yeah, like having soda jerks and stuff. Like those things were inside those places.
They were inside pharmacies?
Yes, they were.
Oh, okay.
Places like that.
Okay.
So that's kind of what it's like. But now that we've kind of progressed past all that, the companies that have purchased those stores kept the Thrifty brand of ice cream because it was so popular.
Yeah.
And I believe it's CVS's, right? CVS?
No, they're in Rite Aids.
The Rite Aids.
Yeah.
Rite Aids now hold ice cream sections where you can get scoops of ice cream, and they're Thrifty brand ice cream.
I remember the year that Rite Aid bought out Thrifties, and I had so much anxiety
Because you were worried about the ice cream.
I thought the
going away.
ice cream was going away forever. I thought it was going to be like a piece of my childhood that just whimpered away.
My childhood.
Yes. Yes, my alter ego.
No, my ice cream.
My manly ice cream voice.
My ice cream.
No, but seriously, it filled me with so much anxiety. But luckily,
Why does
Rite
everything
Aid...
revolve around you and crying about ice cream?
When did I say crying?
I don't know. For some reason, I just imagine you crying
No,
about it.
no, rage, Gabe, rage,
Crying
not
of
tears.
rage, just still
No,
tears.
okay. Side note story: the year I was pregnant, there was a conspiracy where every Rite Aid was out of mint chocolate chip thrifty ice cream.
Calm down now.
No. Gabe. I yelled at a poor Rite Aid employee because of my pregnancy hormones. It wasn't his fault there was no mint chip.
Where's my mint chip? Give it to me! I'm so sorry, sir. She's pregnant. Give me my mint chip.
Oh my gosh. And that was also the year of the like Uber Eats fiascos. Because we ordered ice cream from Uber Eats like so many times that year, and they always brought us like freaking
like Timbuktu ice cream.
No, not Timbuktu ice cream, but also like we ordered thrifty ice cream and they bought us freaking Breyers. Like, no, that goes straight in the garbage.
Definitely not gonna get Breyers as a sponsor anymore.
I don't want Breyers as a sponsor.
Your ice cream sucks.
Thrifties, hit me up. I don't even want money. I don't even want ice cream. Just give me a scoop. Just give me like a scooper.
One of the thrifty scoopers.
Yeah, the $30 cylindrical thrifty scooper.
Okay.
Gabe,
Anyway, that was
the photo for this episode has to be mint chip ice cream.
This went so far off the rails, more so than I think anything has done in this season at all.
We know.
Nikki likes mint chip ice cream.
We
That's all
know
I said for this
that that's what the listeners come here for, Gabe. You've boosted my ego with the last few 5-star written reviews. People come here for my banter.
But they don't come here for your ice cream talks because I like mint chip.
themeparkduo@gmail.com.
Jesus.
Shower me with compliments.
I am not going to read those emails at all.
You're not going to read them to me?
Click all the little boxes, send it to trash.
Gabe.
Wait 7 days.
Gabe.
They'll be gone.
Everyone, put in the subject headline, Gabe, you better open this.
Maybe. But after all that ice cream talk and after having officially ended our conversations on
Are you
LA
getting
Haunted
me
Hayride,
the float, though?
Yes, probably.
Okay.
LA Haunted Hayride and Urban Legends. Thank you, everybody, for listening to our reviews of those experiences. You can obviously check out information on both those haunts on their respective websites. Now, I do want to give a quick shout out because she was nice enough to reach out and say something. But
Yes?
we have a listener in Australia named Lisa,
Yeah!
who we were kind of talking back and forth with. Definitely want to give you a little bit of a shout out here because you were nice enough to reach out and chat with us real quick.
All the way in Australia.
Hopefully, our sass and nonsense makes it out there all the way.
Thrifty's ice cream probably won't, though.
No, definitely not.
Sorry, Lisa.
Sorry. I apologize.
Sorry.
But thank you for listening. I really appreciate it. And then everybody, if you haven't already, make sure you head on over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star written review. It's a free way to help us out in the show and bring us up higher in the standings so everybody can find us easier and enjoy us like you are right now. And also, if you haven't followed us on social media, you can follow us at Theme Park Duo on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Post stuff on Twitter all the time. Sometimes I'm doing Twitter giveaways, post stuff on Facebook all the time. All the podcasts go to the YouTube channel, and sometimes we release YouTube videos as well.
Not so much
during,
this year.
During non-COVID years,
Yeah.
we would do like behind-the-scenes tours at Universal Studios Hollywood for Halloween Horror Nights and things like that. Audio tours of the queue for the Secret Life of Pets attraction that hasn't opened yet. All that stuff is still there on the YouTube channel.
This year we made Dole Whip.
Yes, we did make
Yeah.
Dole Whip, and we added drum to it because, of course, Theme Park
Yeah,
Duo.
I think that's the only. Was that the last video? The Dole Whip
No,
video?
we did a couple other things, I think.
Okay.
I don't remember.
No, I think the rest we made Instagram stories because we were lazy.
Probably.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah. So definitely check all that out. And as Nikki already alluded to it, you could always reach us at
themeparkduo@gmail.com.
So if you want to, email us, I guess, and say whatever you want to say about Nikki's ice cream obsession. I have no idea what she's talking about.
Just say the reason why you tune in. Honestly, honestly, let us know. Is it our theme park knowledge? Is it our reviews? Is it our funny?
Well, we've gotten it from the reviews on iTunes already. People listen to us because of, one, the nonsense, and two, some knowledge and know-how in the realm of themed entertainment.
Yeah.
And 3, reviews of stuff. People tend to hear the reviews and be like, "Oh, that's kind of helpful. Okay, cool."
Yeah. Yes.
So
okay.
you already have your answer.
So you don't want our listeners to reach out and
They don't
say
have to.
hi.
They don't have to do it again. It's fine.
My
They're
God.
listening. I'm good with it. I'm not gonna ask them to do something.
You're like a weird antisocial podcaster.
I'm not some weird antisocial podcaster. I'm just the antithesis of you because every single episode you're asking our listeners to do something.
And they do. Thank you, everyone, for the cat photos. Gabe had to open
And
each
Twitter
and every
polls.
one of them. You do not do my Twitter polls.
Because I don't want to.
You just don't want to be proven wrong.
Most definitely.
Yep. Okay.
Anyways, guys, thank you again for listening to this week's episode, and always remember,
There's always a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. See ya.
Thanks for riding with the theme park duo. Make sure to gather all your belongings before the end of the podcast. Bye-bye.